What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Alex. Shout out to the Elite Fleet. Make sure you like and subscribe so you can become a member of Elite Fleet. And this is going to be a very serious video because it's a serious topic. And I want to talk about the Shanquella Robinson situation and a lot of the things that I've talked about on this channel, just in reminiscing on different subjects. If they would have been applied in this situation, it could have saved their life. So I just want to give a recap all in one video of the precautions you need to take before you go overseas. Alright? But before I even get into that, I just want to say RIP to that young lady. She was brutally murdered outside of the country by people who were supposed to be her friends, by people who, some of which she literally paid for them to even be able to go on this vacation. With her hard-earned money that she earned from her entrepreneurship, from her bag, took it, paid for her supposed friends from college to go somewhere with her just for them to take her out, leave her body there. This is about as cold-hearted, guys, of a deletion as you'll ever hear about. Leave her body there as if she was nothing, like she was some bum off of the street. If I ran outside right now and there was a homeless person dead, I would not leave their body there. I would call 911 and at least wait until 911 showed up, just out of basic decency and respect for human life. They didn't even do that. They packed their stuff, brought her stuff back to the States, told her family she died of alcohol poisoning, which we all know now. Okay, I'm not going to do the news recap because I'm pretty sure most of you have heard this story, but we all know now that she actually died from being brutally beaten. She had a broken spinal cord and a broken vertebrae at the utmost neck. Okay, utmost part of the spinal cord, she might as well say it was a broken neck, by her supposed friends. So let's dig straight into this. First of all, I get it, guys. It sucks that she didn't defend herself. It sucks that she didn't fight back. But I also want you guys to understand, because people keep saying, why didn't she fight back? Why didn't she defend herself? Well, first of all, she clearly was set up. All right, that's number one. The girl's butt naked. Nobody starts a fight butt naked. All right, that's number one. Number two, the girl was butt naked and there were men in the room. Not only does no one start a fight butt naked, but no one's going to be butt naked in a room where there's men in the room. So this girl was clearly ambushed, okay? Number four, which I already knew before the details come out, but now we pretty much know for sure, she wasn't just fighting one person. Not only did she get into a fight with DJ Johnson, who may or may not be a man, it's not confirmed at this point, but she damn sure looks like one, alright, and she was sure enough fighting like one, okay? But apparently her friend Winter was the one who actually delivered the final blow. First of all, here's one thing that I've talked about before that I'm going to recap in this video. Guys, if a woman is named after any type of a luxury car, okay, Lexus, Porsche, anything like that, you probably don't want to go out of the country with her, okay? And she has a name like Winter, and it's not even spelled the right way, okay? She has a name like Fall or something like that, you probably don't want to go out of the country with her. If she has a name like Dijonay, you probably don't want to go out of the country with her. Yes, I'm stereotyping, I don't care, it's better to be safe than sorry, but anyways, moving on, okay? Number five, I'm pretty sure this girl was drugged, because again, she's butt naked, she looked disoriented before she even got hit. It's like she didn't even know what the hell was going on. So she was ambushed, for one, because she was clearly called off guard, okay? She was jumped, for two, and I think they drugged her or did something to her that she was disoriented. So she wasn't in a position to be able to defend herself. So please, I get it, but stop saying that, alright? Now, with all that out of the way, all that exposition out of the way of basically what happened to this woman, let's talk about all the steps that you need to take when you go overseas and all the steps that I wish this young lady would have took. And if she did, she might have still been here. Number one, understand that when you go out of the country, there's not going to be a police force. Most of the time. As a matter of fact, I just did an interview with a passport bro and I was just talking about this, and ironically, he was in Mexico. And one of the first things I brought up is, well, there's a lack of police force in Mexico. To which he replied, oh, that's not true. Yes, it is, as we see now. Because not only did someone lay in a room dead for multiple days, but when they found the person, they didn't stop the people from leaving the country. They just took that she died of alcohol poisoning and they just said, oh, okay, we're going to let you go back home. And then the autopsy results determine that that's not even what happened. You guys have to understand, when you leave the country, it's not like the American police force. Maybe if you're somewhere like London or France, or if you're somewhere like Hong Kong, maybe. But most of the hot spots people visit, Mexico, okay, Brazil, Dominican Republic, things of this nature, Thailand. You guys have to understand, these places have very little to no police force. It's not the same as the States. I've told this story before. I'm going to give you a quick recap again. When I went to visit my boy overseas in Barbados, the woman knew that I was coming. He goofily told her that I was American, and she tried to raise the rates of the room, to which I said, I'm not paying those rates because that's not the rates it was before you knew I was coming here. So we would decide to go and stay with his uncle. But before we went to go and stay with his uncle, someone conveniently ramshacked the place, even though they didn't break into it and we could see the key on the back door. So clearly this was a setup, okay? But they stole all his stuff thinking it was mine because he was just moving down there and I was on vacation, which is number 2. Whenever you travel overseas, pack light. Don't go over there trying to flex. Don't go over there trying to show off. When I go overseas, it doesn't matter where I'm going. When I go to Africa, when I go to Caribbean islands, wherever I'm at, I pack the bare minimums. Most of the days you're going to find me in a plain tee, some shorts, and some flip-flops. Nothing designer on. I'll pack one outfit in case we go out or something like that. But I'm doing the bare minimum. Either way, they stole all my man's stuff. He called the police. It took the police not 1, but 2 hours to even show up. They did some fake-ass investigation, and of course he never got his stuff back, even though it was obvious that the Airbnb lady set it up because she left the key on the back door. Very similar to how the Mexican police just took that story about how she died, didn't stop any of these people from leaving the country, allowed them to go, and then now they're like, oh crap, they didn't tell the truth. You think? Hopefully the FBI picks up this case so that these people are properly prosecuted, because I don't even trust Mexico to do the job. If they did, bring them back. And it's really out of the United States jurisdiction, but there are clauses in the law which the FBI could pick this up, and with the heat that this case is getting, I'm thinking that that's probably what they're going to do. Okay, number 2. This one's more so for the ladies, but we're going to get into other tips, so fellas, keep listening. Number 2, ladies, when you go overseas, you need to go overseas with a man. I repeat, you go overseas, you need to go overseas with a man. If you want to go on a girls trip, you need to take the girls trip in the States. Again, going back to the police force, you never know what might happen. A lot of y'all always talk about misogyny. You ain't seen misogyny until you leave the country, especially if you go to a third world country. That's where you're going to see misogyny, okay? If someone tries to grape you, there's not going to be anyone for you to call. Who you going to call? Ghostbusters? The cops not coming through. Again, 2 hours in Barbados before the police shows up. Just look at this Mexico case. It tells you everything you need to know. Alright? You need to have a man with you. And not any man, because some people are going to say, well, she had men with her. Yeah, she had college friends with her. No, that doesn't count. When I say you need to have a man with you, I mean a husband, I mean a boyfriend, a brother, okay, a father, someone who's been in your life for a number of years and who you can verify actually loves you, because you need that extra layer of protection. I know everyone thinks, oh, you know, strong and independent is 2022. When you go overseas, you're not going to have the same rights. You are not going to get the same respect. Okay, you're a man who will look right past you, talk right over you. I wish that I had some of my friends here to verify this. When I went on a trip with my ex, for example, people talked right over her. To me, it was like she wasn't even there. You gotta understand, it's not going to be like this country. I highly suggest bringing some type of man with you, even if just one of you do it. Even if just one of you bring your husband or something like that, someone needs to have some type of man there. Again, if you want to do a girls trip, you need to do the girls trip in the United States. You should not be doing the girls trip overseas, all right? And then, number 3, someone in the States needs to be aware of your whereabouts every single day. Every single day. Someone needs to know where you're at, where you're going, what your last movement was, okay? There's no reason why any of your friends or something like that should get all the way back to the States to then talk about what happened to you. Because you should have been checking in with someone regularly enough that they check in on you if you don't check in on them. So you need to have a contact, and this goes for men and women. You need to have a contact when you go overseas back in the States, so someone always knows where you're at. Somebody is always aware of what's going on, all right? Number 4. I think this is number 4, but do not stay in the Airbnb when you go overseas. I already told you guys about my experience. You're seeing the experience that she just had right there. When you go overseas, again, you're in foreign land, you need to act like it and take extra precautions. You need to stay on a resort, a popular resort, a highly rated resort, where other people are staying at the same resort. So if something like this happens, Alright? Not only is it likely that someone's going to hear it, but you have housekeepers, you have other things going on. There's no way you're going to sit there for that long to even end up in the possibility of a situation like we just seen. Not to mention, like I told you, you never know who got the keys to the Airbnb, especially if they know you're coming from the States. You're in a country where your money's worth more. Alright? You're not in a country where it's the same or it's less. You do not want to be in an Airbnb. An Airbnb is not safe. Listen, is it going to cost you more money to go to a resort? Sure. But if you going overseas, I'm assuming money's not a problem. It shouldn't be if you're going overseas. You don't need to be staying in an Airbnb. Do not stay in an Airbnb when you go overseas. Alright? So those are the tips that I really wanted to give you guys, all right? Because there's nothing we could do in this situation other than hope that these people get prosecuted. But what we can do is spread information, spread advice, okay? Drop some knowledge so that way when people do travel, they have the tools necessary to be safer, all right? They have the tools they need to get back home safe, to be safe while they're overseas and enjoy their time and have a good time and not end up in situations like this. Again, I can't stress this enough. I need you guys to understand, all right? I know traveling is popular now. A lot of people have a lot more money. You know, air flights. I like catching the bus now. So the whole world's open. But you have to be careful when you're overseas, especially if you're a woman. All right, we've seen the same thing with Tiger Booty. She went over there. We still don't really even know what happened to her. She went over there to visit one of the sheiks or something. Somebody took her out. We still don't know what really happened. We're not going to know what really happened. It's out of the United States jurisdiction, and she died overseas. You gotta be more careful. You gotta realize you're in foreign territory. You have to realize you're on foreign land. You gotta move different. You gotta move like that's the situation. Again, R.I.P. to that young lady. Hopefully the tips that we dropped in this video can help somebody. I am Alex and I am out. Peace.